Biological regeneration, such as the regrowth of damaged skin, is an intricate process driven by a combination of cellular repair, signaling pathways, and the body's innate ability to heal. When skin or other tissues are injured, specialized cells like fibroblasts and stem cells are activated to repair the damage by generating new cells and restoring the tissue structure. One might ask, what enables these cells to kick into action? The answer lies in the complex cascade of biochemical signals released at the injury site, which trigger inflammation, cell proliferation, and tissue remodeling. However, the extent of regeneration is highly dependent on the severity of the damage. When damage is moderate, the body's repair mechanisms can effectively replace lost or damaged cells and reconstruct the tissue. For example, when you get a small cut, the surrounding skin cells multiply and migrate to close the wound, followed by the formation of new collagen fibers that restore strength and elasticity. On the other hand, if the damage is too extensive, such as deep burns or severe trauma, the regenerative capacity is overwhelmed. Why does this happen? In cases of severe damage, the architecture of the tissue is disrupted to such an extent that the signaling networks and cellular populations required for regeneration are destroyed or unable to coordinate effectively, leading to scar formation rather than true regeneration. Another important factor is the role of the extracellular matrix, ECM, which provides the structural scaffold for tissue repair. When damage is limited, the ECM remains partially intact, offering a blueprint for new cells to follow. However, in extensive injuries, the ECM can be completely degraded, making it difficult for the body to organize a precise repair. In such cases, instead of forming new functional tissue, the body may form scar tissue, a process that restores the barrier function but lacks the full mechanical and functional properties of the original tissue. The regenerative capacity also varies among different tissues. While skin and liver cells have a high regenerative potential, other tissues, such as the heart or central nervous system, show limited ability to regenerate after injury. This variability is due in part to the presence or absence of resident stem cells, differences in the local microenvironment, and the specific regulatory pathways involved in tissue maintenance and repair. How do these differences affect recovery? Tissues with abundant, active stem cells and supportive microenvironments are more likely to regenerate fully, while those without such resources may only partially heal, often with lasting deficits in function. In summary, the regrowth of damaged skin and other biological parts hinges on the body's ability to initiate and sustain cellular repair mechanisms. When damage is within a manageable range, these processes effectively restore tissue structure and function. However, when injury exceeds the regenerative capacity, disrupting critical cellular and structural components, the body struggles to replace the lost tissue, often resulting in scar formation or permanent loss of function. Understanding these mechanisms not only illuminates how healing works, but also guides the development of therapies aimed at enhancing regeneration in tissues with limited natural repair abilities. Could further research into these cellular processes one day lead to breakthroughs that improve healing in severely damaged tissues? Ongoing studies suggest that harnessing and enhancing the body's natural regenerative mechanisms may indeed offer promising avenues for advanced medical treatment. Biological tissues such as skin have inherent mechanisms for regeneration that involve cell proliferation, migration, and differentiation, and these processes are activated by signals released at the site of damage to restore normal structure and function. However, the regenerative capacity is limited by the extent of damage and the availability of necessary cells and signals, so when the damage is moderate, these mechanisms successfully rebuild tissue, but when damage is extensive, they may be overwhelmed. For example, a minor cut on the skin triggers a healing process that repairs the wound without leaving a significant scar. It's like patching a small hole in a shirt with a few stitches. A simple repair restores the garment, but if the fabric is torn beyond repair, it must be replaced entirely. Stem cells play a critical role in tissue regeneration by differentiating into various cell types required for repair, and they are activated upon injury and migrate to the damaged area to rebuild tissue. The availability and functionality of these stem cells determine the efficiency of the regeneration process. meaning that if the damage depletes stem cells or destroys their niche, regeneration becomes impaired. For example, in skin wounds, stem cells from the basal layer divide and differentiate to replace lost or damaged cells, restoring the skin's integrity. It's like having a team of repair workers who can rebuild a damaged house. If there aren't enough workers or their tools are damaged, the repair process slows down or fails. There is a threshold of damage beyond which the body's regenerative processes cannot fully restore the tissue. And when injury exceeds this limit, essential structures and cell populations may be irreversibly lost, resulting in scarring or permanent loss of function instead of complete regeneration. The balance between regeneration and damage is determined by the severity and extent of the injury. For example, a deep burn that destroys multiple layers of skin often heals with scar tissue rather than normal, fully functional skin. It's like repairing a small crack in a wall versus a complete collapse. Minor damage can be patched up, but extensive damage requires rebuilding from scratch. The inflammatory response is an essential part of the healing process, initiating tissue repair by clearing debris and releasing growth factors. And while a controlled inflammatory phase promotes regeneration, excessive inflammation can hinder repair and cause further tissue damage. The balance of inflammatory signals is crucial for optimal healing outcomes, as overwhelming inflammation may lead to chronic wounds or fibrosis, limiting the ability to regenerate tissue. For example, after a moderate injury, inflammation helps clean up dead cells and signals stem cells to begin repair. But chronic inflammation in a severe injury can result in non-healing ulcers. It's like using a cleaning agent to clear a spill. If used correctly, it cleans up the mess, but too much of it can damage the underlying surface. The extracellular matrix, ECM, provides a scaffold that supports cell attachment and tissue organization during regeneration and plays a crucial role in guiding the migration and differentiation of cells necessary for repair. A well-preserved ECM enhances the healing process, while extensive damage to the ECM can impair tissue regeneration, making its condition a key factor in determining whether regeneration or scarring occurs. For example, in skin healing, a well-structured ECM supports the formation of new skin layers, whereas damage to the ECM in a severe wound can result in scar formation. It's like a building's framework. If the framework remains intact, the building can be repaired effectively. But if it's destroyed, the structure cannot be restored easily. Different tissues exhibit varying capacities for regeneration, with skin often regenerating more readily than organs like the heart or nervous system, due to differences in cellular turnover, stem cell availability, and structural complexity. The regenerative mechanisms are highly specialized and optimized for the specific functions of each tissue, and excessive damage in less regenerative tissues often results in permanent loss of function. For example, skin can regenerate relatively quickly after a cut, whereas severe damage to heart muscle typically results in scar formation and impaired function. It's like comparing a replaceable part in a machine that is easily swapped out to a complex engine component that, once damaged, requires an entirely new system. Genetic factors and molecular signaling pathways tightly regulate tissue regeneration by controlling cell proliferation, differentiation, and migration, and these signals determine the efficiency and extent of repair processes following injury. When these regulatory mechanisms are disrupted by severe damage, normal regeneration can be compromised, leading to incomplete repair or abnormal tissue formation, which makes understanding these molecular controls crucial for developing therapies that enhance regenerative capacity. For example, research has shown that specific growth factors and cytokines are upregulated during wound healing, promoting cell growth and tissue repair in moderate injuries. It's like following a detailed instruction manual. If the instructions are clear and complete, the repair process goes smoothly. If the instructions are lost or damaged, the repair may be flawed. The capacity for tissue regeneration declines with age and is influenced by overall health and nutrition, meaning that younger individuals typically exhibit more robust regenerative responses compared to older adults, and factors such as chronic diseases and poor nutrition can further impair the body's ability to repair damaged tissues. This decline highlights the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle to support optimal regenerative processes. For example, A young person's skin heals quickly with minimal scarring, while an older individual may experience slower healing and more pronounced scarring after similar injuries. It's like comparing the performance of a brand new computer to an older model. The new system runs smoothly, while the older one may lag and require more time to process tasks. Understanding why some tissues regenerate while others do not has significant implications for regenerative medicine and therapeutic interventions, as insights into these processes can lead to the development of treatments that enhance tissue repair and restore function in severely damaged tissues. Strategies such as stem cell therapy, biomaterial scaffolds, and targeted molecular therapies are being explored to improve regeneration outcomes, and this research holds promise for advancing healthcare and improving quality of life for patients with chronic or severe injuries. For example, therapies that use stem cells to promote tissue regeneration in patients with severe burns or heart damage are being developed based on our understanding of natural regenerative mechanisms. It's like upgrading a broken appliance with new parts that restore its original functionality, transforming an irreparable item into one that works almost as well as new.